Hi, and welcome to Rising Remastered. This is the short version for my YouTube family. The full workshop is available for purchase if you find this interesting and would like to dive in a little deeper. So, the purpose of this class is to just revamp what we think when we think of astrology. Everybody talks about their sun sign, when really it is your rising sign that is of the utmost importance when you're talking about a core frequency in your personality. And so I just wanted to give a little bit of a history lesson so we understand where sun sign astrology comes from. So, sun sign astrology actually began in 1930. It's not even 100 years ago that sun sign astrology really came on the scene. And it was because a British astrologer wrote a horoscope for Princess Margaret's birth. So, a predominant royal figure was born. And so they created a horoscope and it was a hit in the newspaper. And so that led to the creation of the 12 sign horoscopes based on birth dates that you see today because no full birth time or full chart was needed. And this simplified version was great for mass consumption, and it led to the selling of more newspapers. So that is actually the history of how sun sign astrology really became prevalent. And if you know the history of astrology, which is thousands and thousands and thousands of years old, it seems kind of silly to keep perpetuating sun sign astrology. So your sun sign really shows who you're becoming over your lifetime. It's your long-term evolution, some of your core frequencies to master. So for myself, as an example, I am a Taurus sun, but I have an Aries moon, Mercury, and Venus, and I'm a Virgo rising. And so not very Taurian, especially when I was younger. People always are like, "Wow, like you're an earth sign?" Yeah, it's because that Aries really shines through because those are my personal planets. And when we're having conversations and we're mind to mind, playing around, you see much more of the Aries side of me, which my brand was named Down to Mars. Aries being ruled by Mars. So it just makes a lot of sense. And it was when I was younger. I'm a 0 degree Aries. And so thankfully, I had the cusp ideology to really look into Aries before I understood the full chart and understood that the reason that Aries was such a fit for me when I was younger is because I have a shit ton of personal planets there. So, your rising sign is actually your true astrological front door. It reflects so many different things. But what we're going to talk about is let's just look at this wheel right here. And you can see this line between Pisces and Aries is your rising sign in your chart. And so, whenever Pisces, the 12th house, Pisces, rules gestation. So, when you're gestating, you are in the 12th house. You are in the house above your rising sign. And so, when you're born into your first house. And so, you're born across the line of your rising sign. So you can see how when you understand the mechanisms of the chart and how everything fits together, that it makes a lot more sense that you are your rising sign and not your sun sign. So, as you can see, the sun sign often felt more strongly early in life. It's like when I'm by myself and my own perception of myself, I am very much a Virgo rising. I very much love structure, need structure. I love organizations, color coded things on my calendar I love them so much. Whereas your sun sign is a core identity, yes, in your life purpose, but it evolves and strengthens over time. It's what you're growing into. So I think it's so silly when people tell me about, oh, I'm my sun sign, so I'm like this. Are you? It's very funny and very interesting. So you can see the rising sign is not who you are, it's the door you walk through to become who you're meant to be. And so you can see going from that 12th house above the space in your chart, above your rising, above the horizon line, being born through that line into your first house, you can see why it makes so much sense. Your rising sign is the door you walk through when you're walking into this reality. And so when you're walking into this reality, that is very much, I consider those the glasses that you put on. I have little Virgo rising glasses, and I'm becoming Tarian through the lens of my Virgo rising. And when I visualize a metaphor for the sun sign, I just see the sun covered in like tar or something. And as you evolve, pieces break off the sun and the light starts to shine through. And so when you think about it like this, it makes so much more sense that you would be your rising and not your sun sign. And so, can we please pass this around the internet? Please, please, please. Because, yeah, it's so silly. And there are some people that don't have their birth time, so they don't know their rising sign. But there's a beautiful section of astrologers that can rectification astrology, rectifying your chart. They use major happenings in your life to reconstruct your chart. And so as like, they can read a chart and tell you about yourself. You can tell them about yourself, and they can. I was seeing this guy one time, and I had his birth time within an hour of his actual birth time, just from knowing the day and the place that he was born. And just like knowing what I know about him, I was able to place a lot of things. And then when I finally got his birth time, it wasn't even an hour off. And that was just my own personal guesstimations of different things. And so finding your chart through rectifying means, or going on a little hunt for your birth time, is very possible. But the sign that's on the horizon when you were born, that is so important to knowing really about who you are, your core frequency as a person, core personality traits, and a lot of your physical appearance. It's not really the mask that you wear to the world. I don't think people are running around talking about how I seem to be so Virgo. But it also does give you clues to your physical appearance. I'm a late degree Virgo rising. I'm very tiny. People, when they give me hugs, they're just like, you're such a tiny human. And then Mercury. So Virgo is ruled by Mercury. So you look over at the ruling planet. My Mercury is in Aries. So I have a lot of Aries energy that comes in there, and I'm quite muscularly defined. I also have Jupiter and Libra in my first house, and that really feminizes a lot of my look. And so you can tell a lot from your personal appearance, from your rising sign in your first house. It's not really the mask that you wear to the world. It is, unless you want to consider your body your mask for your soul. And so there's just a lot of misconceptions that float around when it comes to sun sign versus rising sign astrology and how they're used. And I mean, like I said, we have a clear history that sun sign astrology is not even 100 years old. So, can we please, as a community, work so hard to remaster our understanding of this, to reclaim the roots of astrology? I don't want to say real astrology, but kinda. And so, yeah, this is a hill that I will for sure stand and preach on. It's my soapbox, and I know many others. In a Q&A recently, Cam White Astrology, he was talking about the same thing, and so I'm not the only one out here. So I appreciate your time for this little mini review, mini PSA. So if you're interested in the full workshop where I go through my rising masterpiece in full, and we'll talk about all of the rising signs individually, then you are welcome to reach out. I will eventually put the link in the bio, and all of the things that we do on here. So remember to like and subscribe and all the internet things, and I will see you very soon. Thanks. Bye.